are having a blessed day. It is Thursday, January 12th, and it is almost 6:30 in the evening, and we are having a thunderstorm. Yep, January 12th, 2023. We're having a thunderstorm, so we're enjoying it. I love the way the thunder rumbles through the mountains here. It's just beautiful. And yes, I need a haircut. My hair, oh dear, my goodness, yes, that's a mess.
Such an interesting monster, too.
I thought I would do a video today and just show you the concept of webbing. So what we're going to do is we have the quilt top behind us that's not sewn together yet, and we're going to sew it together in columns, and we're not going to disconnect anything. It's going to be chain pieced through the machine, and we're going to leave the little threads that go in between the different blocks. And what's going to happen with that is the entire quilt top will be webbed together, and it will hold things where they need to be, and it'll make it much easier for us to just flip and sew and not have to worry about things really moving too far out of alignment. Okay, I have the quilt laid out the way I want, as best as I can anyway. I know I've got a black diagonal line here. I've got a green one, a yellow one, a red one, a pink one. The way this works is I have each row numbered. I have these pins that have numbers on them. Number 1, number 2, number 3, 4, 5. I'll show those to you. They are right here. Marley's numbered pins, and on one side 1 through 10, and on the other side they have 11 through 20. And I don't know if you can buy higher numbers or not. I'm not sure. So I am using those to mark each row. So we have 1 up here, etc., all the way down. So 1 through 11, and then I have 8 going across. So I'm going to take the first 2 blocks in each row. So this one and this one, this one and this one, etc. And the block with the pin in it is the first one. And the way you transport them back and forth is the lowest number, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The number 1 should always be at the top. So the first block of each row should be at the top. So I'm going to take the black one off, and I'm going to put the pink one behind it and keep it in the proper orientation. And I'm going to do that for each of the rows, all 11 rows. And I'm going to go over to the machine. I'm going to sew these 2 blocks together and not cut the thread. Then I'm going to sew these 2 together and not cut the thread. So there will be a little tiny piece of thread in between blocks 1 and 2 of both rows, and the same all the way down. When I'm done with that, I come back and I take column number 3 all the way down with the first one at the top. And I'm going to then open up 1 and 2 here and put this right side together with the pink one and sew it together. And I'm not going to cut the thread. And then I'm going to do these 2, and then these 2. So by the time we get all done, there will be little bits of thread holding all of these blocks together. The entire quilt, every row, as far as you go. And it will be much easier then of just flipping the rows over and sewing them together. It'll be easier to line up and intersect the seams, and it'll be easier to finger press the seams. It'll be easier to iron them if you want to iron them. So the whole quilt top will just be together. And then all you have to do is sew the rows together, and then you'll be fine. So I'm going to start this by grabbing the first 2 blocks in each column, and I'll see you at the sewing machine. So here is our first 2 columns, and you see that the number 1 pin is here. I have new lights coming, so hopefully the camera work will be a little bit better. So that's number 1, and there is the second column, and here is number 2 and the second, number 3. So that goes all the way down. We're going to thread our machine. Hubby and I have been playing with some attachments that I got for this. I got a Singer automatic zigzagger, and it was frozen. It would not work. It wouldn't turn. We spent a couple of hours with a pair of vice grips, and we got it to move, and then we've saturated it in oil, and we we'll see how it is tomorrow. Right now it's moving quite freely, so by tomorrow I should be able to try it out. So here is the first block in the upper left corner and the one next to it. And we are going to match up the edges. Now, we don't break the thread. Here is the second block, or the second row, and the second block in that second column. Okay, third row. Here's the fourth row. You'll see number 4 there. Here is the 5th row. 6th row. 7th row. I do have a prayer request. I was watching Jason and Brooke from Cog Hill Farm, and they had an F3 tornado come through their hometown of Selma, Alabama, and his 100-year-old Papa, he was hurt during the tornado. It tore the roof off his house. He was knocked unconscious. He and his wife went to the hospital and they're okay. He was cleared, but there's a tree in their living room, so the house is probably destroyed. So if you all could keep Jason Smith's grandfather in your prayers, and also all the people of Selma, Alabama in your prayers. It was an F3 tornado.
Blisters leaving a trail of destruction. Senior national correspondent Steve Olson.
And it did a lot of damage. Please do keep those poor people in your hearts and in your prayers. Okay, this is row 9. This is row 10. So now we have all 11 rows here, and I'm going to go get the next row. This is the top block from the 3rd column, and I'm just going to let all the rest of this sit on my lap. And you can finger press, you can go iron, you can do anything you like, but I'm not going to do that right now. Right now I'm going to do is take the first one from the 3rd column and put it on top of the first one from the 2nd column. There's the first block from the 2nd row. Here's the 2nd block from the 2nd column. And here is the 2nd block from the 3rd column. Okay, let's see. Can you see this? Yes, you can. See these 2 strands of thread? Don't cut them. We're going to have them going all the way across all the rows. And that's what's holding your quilt together. That's what's telling you what order to do things in. And again, we have pins marking our number 1 block so we don't get confused. And you can do this with any quilt that has rows and columns in it. This is row 5, and I do have a couple blocks that got cut crooked. For some reason, sometimes when I have my ruler and I use my rotary cutter, sometimes it doesn't continue up along the edge of the ruler. Sometimes it veers off, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's something I'm doing wrong, but sometimes it happens. And I have a couple blocks here that are a little shy, so I'm just gonna pray that the shy bits get lost in the seam allowances. Row 7. This fabric is delightful. I love it. I wouldn't mind having a whole bolt of this fabric. That's just so cute. What a back that would make. This is row 8. Row 9. And yeah, see, this one got cut short. Let's see if we can split the difference. Yeah, we'll split the difference. And this one got cut short. That's 10. that's row 11, and that's a little shy, so I'm going to split it. Okay, so now I'm going to run a ender through and cut this off. And now these are all strung together. Okay, here we go. You see how that's strung together? Now there's no way that you can accidentally think that this is your first block of the second row. Yeah, this one got cut short. You can see top and bottom here. So what I'm doing is I'm splitting the difference. If this is 1/4 of an inch shy here, you're screwed. So what you do is you just split the difference, and then you just do an 8/8 inch right here, and it'll get caught in the seam and everything will be fine. Because every square inch of that jelly roll was used, so it's not like I can just go make another block. And if the pile falls on the floor and you don't know where you left off, just look for your pin, for your number 1 pin. So here is the entire quilt all ready to go. And you can see where it's held together at each intersection. If your pins or your Post-its or whatever comes out, don't worry about it because it doesn't matter at this point. It doesn't matter if this is the top or the bottom of the quilt. The other end is going to be the opposite. We're going to drape this lace thing here over our laps, and we're going to put the top row right sides together with the second row like this. Okay, that was the first one. Here's the second. And we have all these threads here to hold it. And if you haven't ironed yet, don't worry about it. You can iron later. No one's going to see the seams, okay? They're all going to be inside the quilt. No one's going to see them, I promise you. The person that you give this quilt to will not take it apart to see which way your seams lie and whether or not they're all straight.
Quilt police.
So the only thing I'm worried about right now is matching up this intersection. That's it. The rest of them are just dangling in the wind. There we go. That's done. Now we straighten things out again, and we take these pins out so we don't continue to stab ourselves. If you knew how many times I have stabbed myself already, I could make a good replacement for a pin cushion. Me and pins don't get along. It's like that one in-law everybody has. There we go. Now I don't have to deal about it. Now I can grab it with my hands. Number 11. Yes, I've got them all. And I can fling this over there. Straighten this out. And now the only thing I'm worried about on the whole planet right now is this intersection. And I haven't ironed these, so it doesn't matter which way I make the seams lie down. But that's matched. That's done. Take a deep breath. Don't worry about everything else. Don't worry about this mess. All we're concerned about is this intersection. And I find it easier to let the bottom seam go down and the top seam to go up. And if you have a little slack here, the best way to get rid of that slack is to sew like this with the quilt lifted up. Okay? The feed dogs will suck in all of the loose stuff. I don't have to worry about anything else now except this intersection. I line up the intersection. I line up the edge of the blocks, and I hit the gas. Now we only have 2 blocks left in the whole row. And you can feel when the seams are butted up against each other. If you feel like a gap in there, stop and realign. And we are at the end of the first row. Ta-da.
Ta-da.
Okay, we're pulling the whole thing back this way, and we are lining up. Let's throw some of this extra flotsam and jetsam
Meet George Jetson.
over here. rows 1 and 2 are already sewn together, and look at how nice those seams meet. Isn't that wonderful? And now we're going to sew rows 2 and 3 together. And once again, don't worry about this pile over here. And I'm keeping the stuff that I've already sewn on the top so I can see which way these seams are laying. Now I can see here that this seam wants to go down here. The bottom doesn't matter because the bottom is not sewn to the next row yet. No worries, no stress, just enjoy the process. So you can see 3 rows sewn together here. The intersections all meet nicely, and it doesn't matter if you iron them in between or after the whole quilt top is together. It doesn't matter. No one's going to see the seams. That's what quilting is for. You just quilt it down and no one will know the difference. And you'll have a beautiful quilt all done, and it was a quick, enjoyable process. You chain piece the blocks. We're chain piecing everything together in the quilt top, and it goes together so quickly. Okay, YouTube, it's all done. It went together quickly and easily, and I like it. I'm calling it on off because it looks like light switches. So this webbing and chain piecing is really a time saver. I usually sew kind of slowly, and I got this done in a couple hours. Oh, it works real well. And by looking at it, can you tell if I didn't iron my seams before I sewed them together? It looks fine on the back. Well, I have it pinned, but it looks fine. No one will know. There you have it. How to chain piece and web your entire quilt top together so it goes together quickly and simply. Give this method a try. It really does work. Just all you're concerned about is sewing from one intersection to the next intersection. And that's all that matters. And then because everything is webbed together, it's all connected. You can't sew the wrong block on the wrong location. So give this method a try. I want to thank you all so much for watching. And I want to thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart for subscribing to my channel. If you haven't, please do go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It really does help me out. And it lets YouTube know that you like my content. And if you really want to help, please share my videos with your friends and on your social media. I hope you all have a blessed day and a blessed week. And please do keep the people of Selma, Alabama in your prayers. So thanks again so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. God bless.
Good night, Elizabeth.
Good night, John Boy.